At first glance, the trio of highly promoted, hotly anticipated Hollywood movies set to be unleashed on the world, beginning Wednesday, couldn't be more different. But Mission: Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and Barbie appear to have one thing in common. Taken together, this trifecta has beleaguered industry watchers breathlessly anticipating a boost to the summer box office, with the kind of ticket sales needed to soothe Hollywood's frayed nerves when it comes to the future of the big screen. The three represent a big tent sensibility in which there is something for everyone and room for each film to thrive. If all three movies succeed in revitalizing what has thus far been a lackluster summer box office, they could provide a blueprint for success in the future. While Mission: Impossible scratches the more traditional hyper-male action itch, Barbie is shaping up to be the rare female-focused summer blockbuster, a fuchsia-drenched laugh riot with an edgy real-world twist. Meanwhile, the early take on Oppenheimer is that it might be Christopher Nolan's finest film to date, an artful, thinking person's biopic exploring life and death themes both terrifying and universal. Each film boasts a substantial budget, with the former costing a whopping $290 million, and the latter two coming in at about $100 million each. Barbie and Oppenheimer, which both opened July 21 and have benefited from the goofy homegrown Barbenheimer meme, are expected to enjoy a combined opening weekend domestic gross in the neighborhood of $130 million. Oppenheimer with about $40 million and Barbie tracking at an estimated $90 million in the US and Canada. Mission: Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, which goes into wide release Wednesday, is projected to open to a franchise global record of $250 million over 5 days, with early reviews largely positive, and the halo effect of last summer's mega hit, Top Gun: Maverick. The film is sure to rejuvenate the box office. Top Gun 2, in which Cruise reprised the role of the dauntless fighter pilot Pete Mitchell, served as a litmus test for whether or not audiences were ready to return to theaters after the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. The answer was a resounding yes, for the right film, that is. Top Gun: Maverick grossed $1.5 billion worldwide, making Cruise the literal poster child for why movie magic still matters. Film as an art form has been experiencing an existential crisis since the dawn of the 21st century, and the stunning rise of prestige TV when richly acted, groundbreaking cable shows like The Sopranos and 6 Feet Under claimed eyes that would have otherwise looked to the multiplex for an escapist fix. The advent of streaming giants like Netflix, which dropped entire seasons of series, including House of Cards and Orange is the New Black, at once, kept audiences glued to living room couches as binge-watching entered the popular lexicon. Peak TV exploded at the expense of film, and it seemed that only mega Marvel tentpoles could draw the kinds of audiences to fill theaters and studio coffers. Then the pandemic hit, and what was once a crisis of faith in traditional film lost all sense of the ephemeral to become an actual crisis. People stopped gathering in public, theaters shut down, and movie productions ground to a halt. This summer serves as an inflection point, with Hollywood attempting to make a comeback after its massive COVID losses and regain street cred after finding itself on the losing end of the streaming wars. Cruise is a tireless promoter of the big screen, and like Nolan and Martin Scorsese, he has come out forcefully against the COVID-exacerbated trend of simultaneously releasing movies on streaming services and in theaters. In early July, Cruise doubled down on his love of the big screen experience and bought opening weekend tickets to both Barbie and Oppenheimer. Barbie director and one-time mumblecore hero Greta Gerwig and that movie's star, Margot Robbie, responded in kind by also posting photos of themselves holding tickets to both Mission: Impossible, and Oppenheimer in front of each film's respective poster. In this heartwarming season of cinematic camaraderie, it's hard to see what could possibly go wrong. Despite what size-obsessed Hollywood directors will tell you, the power of film isn't anchored to the magnitude and dramatic sweep of the big screen film. Is about the community that gathers around that screen in times of great crisis and in moments of immense joy. It could be that the scarcity of togetherness that became a lasting hallmark of the COVID era has resulted in an unexpected silver lining. One in which Hollywood finds its footing once again by bucking the dominant Marvel trend for the kind of egalitarian movie-making practice that satisfies the cravings of audiences as diverse as they are global. Surely the massive success of Everything Everywhere All at Once lighted the way to this moment. Film is for people who want to lose themselves in an impossible Fiat chase alongside a man who had them at sliding across the floor in his tighty-whities. It is for viewers who seek to add a dash of dark Nolan-esque artfulness to their understanding of how the threat of nuclear annihilation changed the world. It is for those who, to borrow a catchphrase from a clever "we can have it" both ways marketing campaign, love Barbie, and for those who hate Barbie.